That person who broke your heart, the job that disappeared overnight, and even that random moment that flipped your world upside down, none of it just happened by chance. Before you even arrived here, you picked every one of these experiences, not because you needed to suffer or pay for something, but because you made a promise to yourself, a deal your wiser self created, knowing exactly what would help you grow. You're about to learn how to spot these invisible agreements and understand why some feel so tough. Who else agreed to play their part in your story? Yes, that difficult person showed up on purpose, and there's actually a way to change these spiritual deals while you're still breathing and living this life. Before you became the person withing this right now, before you had a name, a face, or even your first memory, your soul was already awake and moving. It existed in pure awareness, peaceful yet eager, getting ready for another adventure on this planet. Most folks think life is just about showing up, doing your thing, and checking out. But underneath all that, something completely different is happening. Your eternal essence, always hungry to expand and discover, maps out every single chapter with way more thought and intention than you'd ever guess. Before stepping into this body, you weren't some random accident waiting to happen. You were an active architect of your own existence. Before you were born, your essence asked the big questions. What do I still need to understand to grow? How to love without conditions? How to truly let go and forgive? How to stay strong when everything falls apart? How to embrace that nothing lasts forever? These weren't casual thoughts. They were deliberate choices that shaped specific moments waiting for you. You selected, or your higher self selected, the core pieces of your journey. Which family would raise you? Which souls would walk into your story? Which gifts and obstacles would show up along the way? This is where one of the biggest secrets about your soul's path reveals itself. Nothing is completely locked in stone, yet nothing is totally random either. Picture it like playing a video game. You know where you start and where you're heading, but every decision you make, every reaction you choose, shapes how the story plays out. You have the power to choose whether to open your heart or close it, whether to let go of the past or cling to grudges, whether to persevere or give up. The challenges show up exactly as your soul agreement designed them, but your response to each one, that's where the real teaching lives and where your growth actually happens. Free will is your tool. The contract is your mission. Ever walked into a room and felt strangely at home, or locked eyes with someone and instantly knew them? These moments aren't coincidences. They're echoes from your pre-birth blueprint. Think of them as cracks in the veil between worlds, little portals whispering, "You're exactly where you need to be." When heartbreak arrives unexpectedly, it's not random cruelty. It's pushing you back toward your purpose. And when doors suddenly open from nowhere, they're pulling you into alignment with your true frequency. Before your arrival on Earth, you understood everything. You saw that this journey would bring both ecstasy and agony, hellos and goodbyes. Yet with infinite courage, you said yes. We often believe life happens to us in isolation, as if every struggle and triumph belongs to us alone. But that's the grand illusion. Nothing unfolds in separation. We're woven into other souls through invisible threads that run deeper than anything your eyes could ever witness. Before taking form, while your essence still existed beyond the veil, everything was being orchestrated, and you weren't creating this alone. Picture a sacred assembly taking place, a council of ancient companions and enlightened guides, all gathered with singular intention: your evolution. Parents, companions, soulmates, even those challenging souls who appear just to push your buttons, every single one was selected through divine agreement. not random chance. Their spirits volunteered to play specific roles in your unfolding story. It feels bizarre to accept that even those who wounded you signed up for this. I get it. But through the soul's lens, the entire picture shifts. What registered as suffering here becomes wisdom there. What appears as betrayal here transforms into an opportunity for transcendence. There. Some of these beings belong to your soul tribe, the ones who journey with you across lifetimes, shape-shifting into different roles: parent, lover, friend, or that impossible colleague. The connection runs through dimensions, unbreakable. They show up to guarantee you don't miss the lessons you came here to master. Some souls act as cosmic mentors, remaining in the non-physical realm instead of incarnating alongside you. They manifest as sudden intuition at precisely the right moment, unexpected insights that emerge in your awareness, or mysterious peace that finds you during your darkest hours. These guides won't control your decisions or override your free will. They simply offer gentle reminders so you never completely lose sight of the journey your essence designed before you arrived here. And yes, there are soulmates, but forget the fairy tale that limits them to romance. Soulmates are intense, catalytic connections designed to shake you awake, sometimes through tender affection, sometimes through experiences that shatter outdated versions of yourself. They're the encounters that unlock hidden doors, the ones who trigger quantum leaps in your evolution. Beyond personal agreements, there are mass contracts you signed. Ever wonder why certain events ripple through entire generations? Global crises, revolutionary movements, planetary shifts, these aren't random either. Countless souls volunteer to experience these collective moments together, knowing that unified participation can spark humanity's next evolutionary breakthrough. Choosing Earth takes tremendous bravery. Your soul doesn't waste incarnations on meaningless wandering. Every detail serves a purpose. Nothing is filler, nothing is accidental energy spent. Each spiritual agreement creates the exact conditions needed to cultivate qualities that can only bloom through specific pressures. And despite how unique we each appear, the teachings we've selected are shockingly similar across all souls. Love, for example, is the biggest lesson. Not just the romantic kind, I mean loving without wanting anything back, which feels almost impossible when the world teaches us to protect ourselves and not trust anyone. Opening your heart takes real guts. It means going through times when you doubt everything and making choices that test who you really are. But how you know you're heading the right direction? Yes, hidden in plain sight are signals that you're on track. The clearest one: repeating patterns, same drama, different actors. You know the feeling. Different job, same toxic boss. New relationship, same old arguments. You find yourself thinking, seriously, this again? That's the point. These loops keep playing because there's still something you haven't grasped. But the moment you shift your response, choose differently, or suddenly see it through fresh eyes, everything changes. The cycle breaks. That's your soul confirming you just completed a major clause in your agreement. Then there are synchronicities, not random coincidences. I mean those moments that feel like pure magic. You think of someone, and your phone rings with their name. You hear the exact words you desperately needed right when you're about to quit. The perfect door opens just as another one slams shut. These aren't accidents. They're the universe's secret language. Your guides, your higher self, and the contract itself use these moments to whisper that you're in alignment. The closer you get to your true path, the more these mystical winks multiply and intensify. Additionally, you might feel an inexplicable pull towards something greater. Even when life seems impossible, a persistent inner voice urges, keep going. You may still not know clearly your purpose, but you can feel yourself moving toward it. This sensation isn't mere background noise. It's your soul's guidance system, a deep remembrance that you're here to complete the growth you mapped out before you arrived. If you can feel this pull and can recognize yourself in this knowledge, remember also to subscribe. You should also watch how people flow in and out at perfect timing. Souls arrive carrying exactly the medicine you need, pushing your buttons or awakening sleeping parts of yourself. Then when their role is complete, they naturally fade away. These arrivals and departures aren't abandonment or chance. They're choreographed movements in your soul's blueprint. Each person enters and exits precisely when your evolution requires it. Finally comes the quiet transformation inside you. Your reactions shift. Rage melts into understanding. Terror transforms into bravery. Desperate grasping releases into peaceful letting go. These subtle yet massive victories prove you're honoring your agreement. Nobody else needs to see it. You feel the truth resonating through your bones. Spotting these markers reconnects you to why you came here. Nothing is meaningless. Once you start recognizing your soul contract playing out in ordinary moments, even the hardest days reveal themselves as sacred pieces of something infinite. Let's be real. Nobody wants to cry. We're programmed from birth to dodge pain like it's poison. Running feels natural, but through the lens of soul contracts, suffering becomes something else entirely. It's not karma catching up, not the universe messing with you, definitely not some cosmic error. It's built into the design. Before taking form, your essence understood Earth would be brutal. It saw the heartbreaks, betrayals, and crashes coming, and still said yes, not from masochism, but from knowing that pressure creates diamonds. Beyond the veil, where only peace exists, evolution crawls. Here, inside the storm of opposites and confusion, your soul rockets forward. Notice what happens when life feels easy. When things are going well, we just go through the motions. No deep questions, no soul searching, just autopilot. But when reality squeezes us, when someone breaks our trust, when we crash and burn, when death touches our circle, something ancient awakens. Suddenly the real questions emerge. What is this teaching me? How do I alchemize this into strength? That's your contract showing its teeth. These trials don't arrive because existence is sadistic, but because without friction, your essence goes dormant. Loving is simple when life flows perfectly, keeping your heart cracked open after betrayal. That's the real test. Gratitude comes naturally when you're winning. Finding thanks while everything collapses. That's mastery. These exact pressure points are what your soul selected to forge qualities that can't emerge in paradise. Loss hits the hardest and teaches the deepest. When something precious vanishes, you're forced to turn inward. You need to let go of thinking you can control everything and accept that you're not in charge of it all. Your ego hates this idea and fights against it. But deep down, your true self knows that this letting go is necessary. The pain of releasing control actually helps new understanding grow. Another signature move in soul contracts is frustration. Those times you give everything and the universe gives you nothing. You grind, you sacrifice, yet doors stay locked. Instead of collapsing into bitterness, your essence uses this friction to build patience, grit, and the grace of detachment. You're learning to surf life's waves without death gripping the outcome. Then there are the nightmare people, the ones designed to trigger every wound you have. Family who never understood you, partners who betrayed you, bosses from hell. These beings volunteered lifetimes ago to be your sandpaper, teaching you where to draw lines, how to honor yourself, and ultimately how to release resentment. Mid-battle, this truth feels impossible. But later the awareness dawns. They came to sculpt you, not demolish you. Grasping why suffering exists in your contract doesn't shrink the hurt, but it transforms meaningless agony into sacred purpose. That shift changes the entire game. You stop being life's punching bag and become a conscious student. Pain shifts from something that just happens to you into something you meet with awareness and grace. In the center of the chaos, your essence radiates knowing. After each trial, you'll never be the same person again. It's easy to believe everything got locked in before birth, like you signed some cosmic document with no escape clause. But the truth runs way deeper and wilder than that. Soul contracts aren't cages. They're breathing, evolving agreements meant to shift as you do. Nothing stays frozen. You transform. Your truth evolves. What felt aligned yesterday might feel like poison today. Just like you update your dreams and ambitions, your essence has full permission to rewrite its blueprint. Get this straight. These contracts don't equal unchangeable fate. Think of them as cosmic GPS, showing potential routes without chaining you to any single road. Throughout your journey, you hit intersections where you face the choice. Keep bleeding for something dead, or find the guts to pivot. That's when contracts get rewritten. It happens quietly, almost invisibly. When you finally walk away from that poisonous relationship, quit the soul-crushing job, or shatter generational chains that held your family hostage. You're literally renegotiating with existence itself. You're declaring, this chapter's over, I'm ready for what's next, and the universe adjusts. It's always adjusting. Every aware decision you make edits your spiritual agreement in real time. You don't need ceremonies or crystals for this. Sometimes a single fierce decision, an internal enough, shifts the entire frequency. What felt stuck suddenly flows. Fresh faces appear, doors swing open, and the horizon completely transforms. Your soul also rewrites things without asking permission. This happens when you evolve faster than planned, or when you've already absorbed what you came to learn. The old agreement gets shredded to create space for something that matches who you've become. That's why sometimes everything crumbles at once. Relationships, careers, beliefs all dissolve. You're not falling apart. You're upgrading. The dissolution feels like death, but it's actually rebirth. Some contracts are meant to end completely. When certain connections have delivered their medicine, dissolution becomes sacred. This isn't failure or abandonment. It's spiritual intelligence. Recognizing when to release is the lesson itself. Clinging to expired agreements only breeds decay and pain. Ultimately, letting go becomes radical self-honor. Your essence declaring it's ready for deeper waters, done recycling ancient patterns, having already extracted every drop of wisdom from what was lived. People mix up karma and soul contracts constantly. They look similar on the surface. Both connect past choices to present reality. But there's a massive distinction that changes everything once you grasp it. Karma is pure cause and effect, the energetic echo of every thought, action, and feeling you've ever generated across lifetimes. It's completely neutral, just physics. Plant seeds of kindness and compassion, harvest that frequency back. Scatter seeds of cruelty or greed, and that vibration boomerangs home eventually. Karma is the return of what you have emitted. It's not personal, just the natural balance of things. Simple cause and effect. Soul contracts are completely different territory. They're deliberate selections, not automatic reactions. Before incarnating, your essence gathered with others and mapped out exactly which teachings needed to unfold for maximum expansion. This includes which souls you'd encounter, what obstacles you'd face, even which talents would awaken. These agreements are voluntary commitments to growth, chosen through free will, not forced through cosmic payback. Think of karma as gravity, a universal force that just operates. Soul contracts are more like choreographed performances. They dance together constantly. Say you wounded someone in another lifetime. Your contract might arrange another meeting with that soul, creating space for healing instead of harm. Here, karma demands restoration, while the contract designs exactly how that restoration unfolds. People mistake karma for punishment, but that's missing everything. Both karma and contracts exist as teaching tools, not torture devices. They're elegant systems ensuring nothing stays incomplete, giving every soul infinite chances to witness their impact and choose transformation. Now, before diving into how to decode your own soul contract, I've got something special to share. The doors just opened for the Quantum Thinking Challenge. To celebrate Mother's Day, you amazing souls watching right now get an exclusive gift, a discount code that vanishes at midnight Sunday. Everything you need is waiting in the pinned comment below. All right, let's get back to the mystery and explore how to actually read the blueprint your soul created. The idea of soul contracts might feel too mystical, like some cosmic document locked away where you'll never reach it. But that's completely backwards. Your contract isn't hiding from you. It's broadcasting constantly through signals, gut feelings, and whispers most people tune out. The most direct portal to your agreement is something you already possess: intuition. That sudden knowing that defies logic, pulling you toward or away from something your mind can't explain. Remember those times when everything looked perfect on the surface, but your inside screamed, "Run," or when something illogical called to you so strongly you couldn't ignore it. That's your essence tapping you on the shoulder, reminding you of the plan. When you honor that inner frequency, reality seems to conspire in your favor. Dreams become another portal straight to your contract. While your body sleeps, your essence breaks free from the ego's grip and logic's chains. Those vivid, symbol-packed dreams aren't random brain static. They're fragments of your agreement floating to the surface. Your unconscious becomes a messenger, dropping breadcrumbs about your true path. Dreams that repeat, visits from souls who've crossed over, or scenarios dripping with emotion. These aren't meaningless. They're encrypted transmissions begging for your attention. Meditation opens another doorway to your contract's deeper codes. When you quiet the external chaos and drop inward, you create room for subtle knowings to emerge. Forget needing dramatic visions or hearing celestial voices. It's about clearing static so your soul's wisdom can surface. People who meditate with this specific intention often experience sudden downloads, perspective shifts that change everything, even flashes of remembrance from that space before birth where choices were made. The Akashic records offer another avenue. Think of them as the universe's infinite library where every soul's journey gets archived, including all contracts and choices across lifetimes. Through trained guides or deep personal practice, you can tap into these vibrational files to decode what your essence came here to master. But this isn't entertainment or casual browsing. Accessing these realms demands genuine intention for evolution, not just spiritual tourism. The simplest method hides in plain sight, studying your life's repeating themes. No need for mystical practices, just honest observation of what keeps circling back. The patterns that won't quit, the lessons that keep knocking, the storylines playing on repeat. When existence keeps serving you the same dish, that's your contract speaking directly. Recognizing these cycles is already decoding your agreement. The blueprint isn't concealed to frustrate you. The veil exists because remembering is part of the medicine. Once you start looking with real presence and sincerity, What seemed invisible starts revealing itself everywhere. Some soul agreements feel like gifts. They accelerate growth, crack you open to truth, and magnetize you toward your authentic self. But let's be real, not all contracts age well. Some transform into chains, connections that stopped teaching and started suffocating. When this happens, liberation becomes necessary. First, recognize that even these heavy contracts made sense when you signed them. Maybe you needed to experience violation to master boundaries, or endure abandonment to discover your own unshakable worth. But your essence is pure evolution. It expands, absorbs wisdom, and recognizes when the teaching is complete. Staying bound to expired contracts is like repeating third grade after you've already graduated. Pointless suffering. Breaking these toxic agreements requires conscious recognition and decisive action. Look at what's been looping for years. The same wounds reopening, connections that vampire your energy, beliefs that dim your radiance, then declare, I see what this taught me. I honor the lesson. Now I choose freedom. This isn't ingratitude, it's spiritual intelligence. The need for release shows up differently. Bone-deep exhaustion for some, restless anxiety that won't quit for others. Reality starts screaming louder. You feel trapped in quicksand. That's your invitation to transform everything. Releasing toxic contracts doesn't erase history. It alchemizes your relationship with it. The process has concrete steps. Forgiveness stands as the most potent tool, but not the kind you're thinking. Yes, forgive others, but more crucially, forgive yourself for accepting crumbs when you deserved feasts, for staying past every exit sign, for abandoning your own essence to keep peace. Forgiveness works because it dissolves the energetic hooks keeping contracts alive. Your soul responds to crystal clear intention. Skip the elaborate ceremonies, sometimes a raw conversation with yourself, writing an uncensored letter, or sitting in focused meditation triggers the release. Now, if there's one question haunting almost everyone, it's this: why am I really here? Between the daily grind and life's constant waves, this wondering surfaces, and when it does, that's your essence sending up a flare, reminding you that you didn't incarnate just to pay bills and collect temporary trophies. Something infinite pulses beneath the surface, and your contracts hold the map to it. Purpose doesn't always mean saving the world. Sometimes it's breaking a generational curse that's plagued your bloodline. Sometimes it's showing others what's possible through your own resurrection. Either way, your soul agreement provides the framework, highlighting which lessons you promise to master, while revealing breadcrumbs toward your unique contribution to existence. You know you're honoring your contract when fulfillment arrives. Despite the struggle, that sense where exhaustion can't touch the satisfaction, where the work feeds rather than depletes you. Maybe it's healing others, birthing something that lifts humanity, or simply becoming living proof that survival can become thriving. When you're locked into your soul's frequency, external validation becomes irrelevant. Your inner compass points true. Purpose reveals itself through deep listening, tuning out society's noise to hear what makes your essence sing. Your contract doesn't prescribe job titles or bank balances. It calls for qualities to embody: radical love, fierce compassion, ancient wisdom, unbreakable strength, raw truth. How you express these gifts, that's where your free will creates art.